All right, welcome back to Chasing Baseball's Immortals. In this episode, we'll be exploring the career of Bill Mazeroski, a smooth, instinctive infielder whose glove anchored Pittsburgh's infield for more than a decade. We'll also look at his 1957 Topps rookie card, an early issue from a landmark set that captures Mazeroski as he was beginning his journey towards 8 Golden Gloves, being a World Series hero, and a Hall of Fame legacy. Let's get started. Mazeroski was born September 5, 1936 in Wheeling, West Virginia, and grew up in a working-class family where baseball was part of everyday life. His father, a former semi-pro player, taught him the fundamentals early, and by high school Mazeroski was already known for his quick hands, strong arms, and natural feel for the infield. He excelled in both basketball and baseball, but it was his defensive instincts that set him apart, even as a teenager. Signed by the Pittsburgh Pirates at just 17, Mazeroski moved quickly through the minors. Coaches immediately recognized his rare combination of footwork, range, and baseball IQ, traits that made him look like a big league second baseman long before he reached Pittsburgh. By 1956, at the age of 19, he was in the majors, and within a year, he was the everyday starter, anchoring the infield with a level of defensive precision the franchise had never seen. Across the next decade, Mazeroski became the standard for second base defense. He won 8 Gold Gloves, made 7 All-Star appearances, and turned the double play into an art form. But his legacy extends far beyond the fielding. In 1960, he delivered one of the most iconic moments in baseball history, a walk-off home run in Game 7 of the World Series, the only one of its kind. Mazeroski was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2001, a recognition of both his defensive brilliance and his place as baseball's most unforgettable moment. He passed away October 3, 2023, leaving behind a legacy defined by precision, consistency, and a single swing that became part of baseball lore. Now we'll place Mazeroski in context, comparing his career to a predecessor and a modern counterpart. Mazeroski defined the glove-first second baseman of the post-war era, a player whose value came from elite defense, reliability, and game-changing instincts. Across 17 seasons, he produced 132 defensive runs above average, won 8 Gold Gloves, and led all second basemen of his era in double plays turned. Offensively, he was steady rather than dominant, finishing with 138 home runs, over 2,000 hits, and a career .260 average. His profile is clear: long-term durability, elite defense, and enough offense to stay in the lineup every day. An earlier predecessor that matches up well is Johnny Evers, a defensive-driven second baseman whose value comes from intelligence, quickness, and infield leadership. Evers wasn't a power hitter, finishing with a .270 average, over 1,600 hits, and just 12 home runs. But he played 18 seasons and was central to the Cubs' run prevention machine of the 1900s. Contemporary accounts consistently praise his pivot work, anticipation, and ability to control the infield, traits that mirror Mazeroski's strengths almost exactly. In terms of style, role, and defensive identity, Evers is the cleanest early century match. For a modern successor, Brandon Phillips brings Mazeroski's profile, and the numbers line up surprisingly well. Phillips won 4 Golden Gloves, posted over 80 defensive runs saved, and consistently ranked among the league leaders in double plays and range. Like Mazeroski, he combined athleticism with elite hands and footwork, turning difficult plays into routine ones. Offensively, Phillips offered a bit more punch, with 211 home runs, over 1,700 hits, and a career .275 average. But the shape and value of this is the same: defense first, steady offense second, and a decade-long presence in the heart of the infield. Across these 3 eras, Evers in the early 20th century, Mazeroski mid-century, and Phillips in the modern game, you can trace a clear lineage of second basemen defined by defensive excellence, everyday reliability, and long-term value. Each brought a style shaped by his era, yet all 3 stabilized the infield, contributed enough at the plate to stay in the lineup, and set a lasting standard for what a glove-driven second baseman can mean to a winning club. For collectors, the 1957 Topps baseball set marks the moment the modern hobby truly took shape. Topps moved to full-color photography and introduced the now standard 2.5 by 3.5 inch card size. The release was issued in 5 series. The first 4 consisted of 88 cards apiece, while the final series covered cards 353 to 407. Of the 5 series, the 4 series is considered the scarcest, numbers 256 to 352. The checklist is loaded with hobby staples: Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Roberto Clemente, Ted Williams, and Sandy Koufax, all captured in crisp, straightforward photography. And while the set is best known for its clean design, it also delivers a strong rookie class, where Frank and Brooke Robinson headlined the group alongside rookies of pitching greats Don Drysdale, and Jim Bunning. But for this episode, everything leads to one card, Bill Mazeroski's rookie, card number 24. Mazeroski's debut sets in the first series, making it more available than the 4 series rookies of Brooks Robinson and Jim Bunning. But condition scarcity applies. Centering and image clarity are inconsistent, making visually appealing copies more difficult than collectors might expect. In a set that helped define the modern hobby, the 1957 Topps Mazeroski stands out as a clean, understated rookie of a player whose defensive brilliance and postseason legacy make him one of the essential figures of his era. For collectors, they can expect to pay for a PSA 7 $400, a PSA 5 around $150, for a PSA 3 around $90. And raw copies featuring his autograph can be found for right around $100 as well. All right, let's take a look at the card. Here's my example of the 57 Topps Bill Mazeroski. Now, I looked for this card for about a year before I found one I really liked. That was in my price range. Centering is notoriously bad on this card. Snowing is notoriously bad. And on a lot of copies, the image resolution is not clean. So there's 3 main problems that I've found searching for this card. And I finally found this one maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I got it on eBay for roughly $160. It was nicely centered, didn't have any snowing on it. It's got nice image clarity. The back, it's a little lower grade because I think it's got a little wax stain here. But the back is presentable. This is a PSA 5 copy. And just a very nicely centered copy with, again, great resolution and no snowing on it, which was those were the three problem areas with this card. But that completes my Bill Mazeroski collection. For collectors, Mazeroski's card run sets right in a sweet spot in the hobby, which features classic Topps designs, quirky regional issues, and tough international releases. First up is 1958 Topps. It's a key early card framed in bright portrait-driven style that defines the set. Centering and snowing are a main challenge with this card, resulting in clean copies drawing collector interest. PSA values typically range from an 8 around $600, PSA 7 around $130, and a PSA 6 nearing $100. Next up is the 1959 Bazooka, a true oddball standout. It's cut from the back of gun boxes, where surviving examples are almost always hand-trimmed, making sharp edges and full borders extremely scarce. Values for this issue are among the highest for Mazeroski cards. A PSA 6 recently sold for $2,000, a PSA 2 for $1,000, while even PSA authentic copies typically sell for around $150. Finally, we have his 1967 Topps Venezuelan issue. It's one of his toughest cards with only 60 total graded examples. Printed on fragile stock and distributed only in South America, and almost never found without heavy wear or paper loss. A PSA 3 can reach up to $300 or more. There are no recent sales for PSA 1s or 2s, and raw copies typically sell for around $50 depending on condition. Across his broad run of cards, Mazeroski's cardboard legacy mirrors his career, steady, respectable, and punctuated by moments of real significance. His early Topps appearances from '57 through the early '60s track his rise to all-star status, while later issues reflect the longevity that helped define his Hall of Fame resume. Regional and special issues, from Bazooka to post-serial to Venezuela Topps runs, give collectors a rich mix of scarcity, design variety, and historical context. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. And if you have any suggestions for future topics or ways to improve the series, feel free to drop them in the comments below. On deck, I'll be taking a closer look at Vladimir Guerrero, one of the more electrifying hitters of the generation, a free-swinging force who turned bad ball contact into Hall of Fame production. We'll also break down his key early card, his 1995 Bowman's Best rookie, a defining chromium issue from the peak of the '90s era. See you then.